This two-time world champion, 32 races winner, rates himself 9 out of 10 in everything. Fast as lightning, clever as a fox, and hungry for victory, he's set records as F1's youngest pole setter. And his return to Alpine in 2021 shows he's not done yet. This is the story of Fernando Alonso. Early life and karting. Fernando Alonso Diaz, born on July 29, 1981 in Oviedo, northern Spain, got behind the wheel at just 3 years old thanks to a kart built by his dad. Growing up, Fernando zipped through school with some help from his friends and his mom, who stitched his racing gear and made sure he did well in class. And he even managed to practice driving to school in 3 sectors. Despite financial hurdles, Alonso's family rallied together, making sacrifices to support his passion, and at just 7, he aced all 8 races in his first series. Then, in 1993, he snagged the Spanish karting championship and junior world championships in 1996, by the time he was a teen. Entry into racing. Later on in 1998, former F1 racer Adrian Campos spotted Alonso's raw talent and gave him his first shot in a real racing car. So Alonso kicked off the 1999 season with Campos Racing and quickly clinched his first win on the Euro Open Movistar Series. Later on, during a test with Minardi, he impressed the bigwigs with his lightning-fast times. Moving up the ladder, he landed a spot in the F3000 Series, where he faced an uphill battle. It took time for him to hit his stride, and despite a rocky start, he wrapped up the season, claiming his first podium finish and a season-ending victory. Formula One debut with Minardi. Then came his big break into F1 with Minardi. Against all odds, he outshone his teammate from the get-go, proving he was destined for greatness. And in a grand finale at Suzuka, despite racing on unfamiliar turf, Alonso left seasoned pros in his wake. This was just the beginning of his journey to the top. Success with Renault. In 2002, Alonso raked up laps in a test roll. It was a bit of a detour, but with over 1,600 laps under his belt, he was revved up and ready to roll with Renault in 2003. At just the second race in Malaysia, he snagged the pole position, making history as the youngest ever to do so. Then he became Hungary's youngest Grand Prix winner, outpacing even the legendary Michael Schumacher. The 2004 season was a rough ride, with Ferrari hogging the spotlight as Alonso had a crash in Monaco's tunnel. Then, with Fisichella back on the scene, 2005 became an epic showdown. Raking in 7 wins, Alonso powered his way to the championship. But as fate would have it, Ferrari roared back in 2006. Despite the odds, Alonso came out on top, clinching back-to-back titles and etching his name in the history books. That's when he joined McLaren. McLaren stint. However, things got rocky between him and his teammate Hamilton. It all boiled over at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Return to Renault. Then in 2008, Alonso's team Renault was struggling, but sneaky wins in Singapore and Japan brightened the season. The following year was challenging too. Despite the rough patches, he showed his skill and made some unforgettable moments on the track. Ferrari years. Joining Ferrari in 2010, Alonso faced ups and downs, narrowly missing the 2010 and 2012 titles. Yet Ferrari struggled in 2014, prompting Alonso's return to McLaren. McLaren Honda period. The McLaren Honda era was a roller coaster of frustration marked by quirky radio jibes. Despite challenges, Alonso impressed at Le Mans and in other races. Retirement and post-F1 career. That's when he decided to shift his gears, stepping away from F1 and diving into sports car racing after the 2018 season. In 2019, Alonso kicked things off by acing the Daytona 24 Hours. He made a pit stop at the Indy 500, although luck wasn't on his side. In 2020, it was all about Dakar and more Indy action with a stop at the Daytona 24 Hours. Return to F1 with Alpine and Aston Martin. Then in 2021, Alonso planned to return to F1 and join his old team Renault, now called Alpine. By 2022, he was still pushing hard with Alpine, but he saw a new opportunity and took a leap, signing up to drive for Aston Martin this year. In the 2023 year, Alonso started strongly, capturing 3rd and 2nd place in early races. As Aston Martin changed the car, their pace slowed, moving them to the back of the pack. Despite these setbacks, Aston Martin finished 5th overall in the Constructors' Championship, with Alonso finishing 4th alongside Charles Leclerc in the Drivers' Championship. Alonso is driving for Aston Martin again next year, hunting for another world championship. So let's see what legendary moves one of the oldest drivers has yet to make on the grid. Until our next pit stop, see you soon. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this and leave a comment on what you want to see next.